More than 3 decades after the Navy vacated this idyllic harbor north of Manila, U.S. forces are reappearing as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. renews ties with his country's longtime ally.
Bound by a mutual defense treaty, the two nations have grown closer in recent years amid a large-scale Chinese military buildup, threats to nearby Taiwan, and aggression in the South China Sea. The revived partnership, previously downplayed by former President Rodrigo Duterte, who sought more cordial relations with China, is bringing the U.S. back in strength for highly publicized defense arrangements and big military exercises. Subic, once a formidable Navy installation and nearby Clark Air Base, formerly the largest Air Force installation overseas, have changed since their old tenants vacated. Both are run by government organizations, Clark Development Corp. and Subic Bay Metropolitan Corp., that are looking for ways to make money in the civilian sector. At Subic, guards are posted at the port's gates, but they wave traffic through unless they spot a suspicious vehicle. Inside, American visitors may find familiar but repurposed landmarks. The Royal Supermarket operates in what was once a commissary. A bank occupies the former base theater. What used to be a Marine Corps barracks is the Subic Bay Peninsular Hotel. Across the road, locals run laps on a former Navy running track. Subic's main chapel still holds services. Marines saved the building from the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo by climbing on the roof and shoveling away accumulating ash, according to Norman Tuzin, who served there as a Marine and retired in the area more than a decade ago. In the old days, 7th Fleet ships were regular visitors, and the military population swelled when they pulled in. For young sailors and Marines, a trip outside the gate to Olongapo City was like traveling to Tijuana from San Diego, Tuzon said. We wouldn't go out in town when those guys came in for liberty, he said. There was always a bar fight. A former transportation worker of Subic Bay, Victorio Viscocho, recalled Filipinos bringing their families to the base in the 1980s for July 4 celebrations and Christmas gifts of apples and oranges from the Navy. It was looked forward to by families, he said over coffee beside the harbor on a sunny morning in April. In 1994, Viscocho restarted the Subic Bay News, the former base weekly newspaper, which he still operates. During the American era, about 15,000 Filipino employees worked at Subic and another 6,000 at Clark. These days, the port employs about 2,000 people with another 100,000 working for other businesses in the area, he said. Some of the port facilities have run down since the Americans left. Piers are in disrepair and berths need to be dredged to accommodate large ships again, Viscocho said. Subic Bay International Airport, once Naval Air Station Kupi Point, is home to Reliant Global, a Tennessee-based defense contractor that provides services for visiting U.S. forces. The increased American military activity is noticeable, said the company's local manager, Nina Manikan-Wight. It used to be just Balikatan and Kamandag, she said of annual exercises involving the U.S. Marines and Filipino troops. But now we are hearing about 4 or 5 exercises in between. Tourism at Subic is booming. Hotels at the port were already full during Balikatan, forcing some troops to commute from Clark. American service members are confined to a Liberty Zone that encompasses the old U.S. bases, Manikan-Wight said. Dockside at Subic, Tuzon pointed out the spot where he departed with the last contingent of Marines to leave on the amphibious assault ship U.S. Belleau Wood in November 1992. Subic Bay locals are excited about the economic impact of more American troops visiting, but Tuzon said some worry that the U.S. will use the Philippines as a staging ground for a war over Taiwan. They don't want to be affected by that, he said.